Hello and welcome back to Watch Your English channel. Today we are learning vocabulary about body movements and the related action verbs that you can use in everyday conversations. But first, how about a quick quiz? I'm going to show you 3 different body movements, and I want you to guess the action verb that describes them. Ready? Let's go! What action verb describes this movement? What do we call this action? How about this movement? Got your answers? Stay until the end of this video, because we're going to break down each one of these action verbs and more right now. Let's dive in. Flex muscles. To tighten and contract the muscles to show strength. You often see this when people want to show off. He flexed his muscles to impress his friends at the gym. Shake head. To move the head from side to side, usually to say no or to show disapproval. She shook her head when she disagreed with the idea. Clench fists. To close the hands tightly into fists, often as a sign of excitement, anger, or determination. He clenched his fists in anger when he heard the unfair decision. Crane neck. To stretch the neck to see something better, often over an obstacle or a crowd. She craned her neck to get a better view of the concert stage. Snap fingers. To make a sharp sound by quickly pressing your thumb and middle finger together. She snapped her fingers to get the student's attention. Wipe forehead. Something you do when you're sweating, tired, or relieved. After the long run, she wiped her forehead with the back of her hand. Fold arms. To cross your arms over your chest, often when you're feeling defensive or impatient. She folded her arms and waited for an explanation. Scratch head. A common gesture when someone is confused or thinking hard. He scratched his head trying to figure out the solution. Hold breath. To stop breathing for a moment, either in anticipation or because you're waiting for something. She held her breath as the results were announced. Tap foot. To hit the ground lightly with your foot, usually when you're waiting or impatient. He tapped his foot while waiting for the bus. Rub. To move the hands backward and forwards over a surface. After a long day at work, she sat down and began to rub her eyes, feeling exhausted. Nod head. To move your head up and down, to show agreement or approval. During the meeting, she nodded her head in agreement with the speaker's point. Stretch arms. To extend your arms, usually to loosen up your body or after waking up. She stretched her arms after sitting at the computer for hours. Stroke. To gently move your hand over something, often to calm or soothe. He stroked the cat's fur as it lay next to him. Wave. To move your hand back and forth, usually to greet someone or say goodbye. She waved to his friends as they drove away. Short story. The interview. Sarah sat in the waiting room. She was nervous. Her hands were shaking, so she clenched her fists to calm down. She felt sweat on her face and quickly wiped her forehead with her hand. The door opened and the interviewers smiled at her. Sarah took a deep breath and walked into the room. They asked her many questions. When they asked the last one, she held her breath and thought carefully before answering. After she finished, the interviewers nodded their heads. Sarah felt a little better. When she left the room, her best friend was waiting. Sarah smiled and stroked her friend's hand, happy to have someone there for her. Now we've covered 15 action verbs for body movements. Remember that quiz at the beginning? Let's go over the answers. Flex muscles. Wipe forehead. Tap foot. How did you do? Let me know how many you got right in the comments. Before you go, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more vocabulary lessons like this. And of course, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any lessons. Thanks for watching.